Hello, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being with us again. Thank you so much for your time. Today, we're going to have a Q&A session, and also we're going to be explaining you a little bit what is happening with the flights for all those who want to come back to Ecuador, especially for the expat community. As you know, we have created this platform to have an access to the expat community for them to know what is happening with the recent news, the recent updates on the Ecuadorian managing of COVID-19. So today we have Montserrat Bravo. She's the commercial manager for Metropolitan Touring. And we're going to be talking about the what is happening from the perspective of the for the travel agencies. We have been working with some clients in the last few days, and it called our attention at Ecosys that this client's flight was paid, was scheduled, and at the end, I think it was changed in like 2 days before of their departure from the US. So I have to be honest, I really don't know what the procedures are. What I have been reading, it is the latest report from May 18, where they were making some changes for this test, a 72-hour test that you as a passenger will have to be taken before taking your plane. So I mean, we want always to invite experts on each field, and since most of that she works at Metropolitan too, and they're doing this every day. So we want to thank to her for making the time to be with us and sharing what is her view, sharing with us what is happening with the returning flights, keeping in mind that in June 1st, airports will be open again. I have a phone call with the Ecuadorian consulate in Phoenix this morning, and they were explaining me that in the future, in the next few days, they will have a new resolution about how these flights are going to be regulated and what's going to happen. But I prefer to let Montserrat speak to you because she's the expert in this. So Montserrat, could you please, I don't see your camera. You could please turn on your camera because everyone would like to see you. And also, hi. We will have Serena Macias. Probably some of you know her. She's the director of our office, Ecosys office in Quito, and she will be helping us with the interpretation for all of you, the translation. So Montserrat, thank you again. And could you please start with your presentation, and then we will follow that with some questions from the attendees.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you for the presentation. I'm sorry for my English, but I do the best. So I'll try to be in Spanish, but thank you for this time to share with you and all that are listening now. So I'm going to show some presentation. Did you see my presentation now?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you. So, well, as you know, the Metropolitan Touring is a travel agency with 67 years of experience, and our mission is to show foreigners the best of our country and to our local the best destination of the world. We have all been greatly affected by this global pandemic. It has disrupted many business all around the world, especially the ones in the tourist industry. Even though this pandemic has significantly impacted our business, but we are currently working for also our clients to travel back home and be with their loved ones in the difficult times. I want to show you some features. I don't know if you could see the presentation. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Ecuadorians returning to work during COVID-19. We have 7,034 people, Ecuadorians, returning home, 13 non-cost flights, and 59 paid flights, 50% from the United States and 50% from 47 other countries. This is the source of this information is the Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores, Cancillería. It is important to share with you the different flight types that exist in the market. Some is the commercial, other is the humanitarian, other is the charter, and the other is the ferry. The commercial flight is handled by air carriers that all of you know. The fare of that is paid by the passenger. We have another that is the humanitarian that is handled by emergency flights. It's handled by the government, and the payment methods sometimes is the government and the passenger. And the other flight is the charter. That is the flight that in this time Metropolitan touring is working. The charter is not flexible flight. It's operated by airlines and travel agencies, and it has a cost for the passenger. And I'm sure that you are listening about the ferry, the flight ferry, that is a non-passenger flight, and the aircraft returning to original destination, the flight, and that cost is assumed by the airline. In the next slide, I would like to show you which is the process that as a Metropolitan touring we are doing to guarantee our clients. First of all, we saw the flight demand. That it means that someone in some place tell us that they need to come to Ecuador or they need to go to another country. So is the first step, and the second step, as a travel agency, we have a quote to the airlines. We are working now with LATAM, and we quote the flight. And in the third step, we do an analysis, and we see that the price that we are going to offer to our clients, it will be possible to pay it. And this mix of supply and demand, when we have that, the next step is to obtain the flight authorizations and government permissions. This is so important because we can't start to promote a flight that is not authorized. So for us, it's important that and that guarantee our clients that the flights that we offer, it will be possible because it's authorized. So when we have this part, I'm sure that you saw this kind of information that we are sharing with you now, and we put this kind of publicity, and now the step is to sorry, no, okay. And sorry, okay.
Yeah.
So when you have yeah, the information, when you have all the information, it's important to tell you that this is a process. Also, the person who are that are in the United States, you need to contact the consulado, la Cancillería in the United States to fill a process. That is the Apple. This is the Apple. Maybe you could see that. And also you have to fill a certificate that is the CDA. With this information, the passenger needs to fill. And then it is important to tell you that if you need if you have a group or of people that want to come to our country, or we want to go from Ecuador to our country, we can contact us and we can arrange all this process for you. And the most important thing is that they are guaranteed. But also it's important to tell you that there's another flight that you can show now. For example, United Airlines, they have some flights, Quito, Houston, May 23rd, May 27, and May 31. There also Eastern that is operated Guayaquil, Miami. And it's important to tell you that there are return to regular operation airline schedule. Let me show you. For example, United, as you know, they have a lot of flights now, but they supposed to start the regular flights on July 31. American Airlines on June 4th, Delta on August 1st, Aeroméxico on July 9th, Aeroregional, they don't define yet, Air Europa, July 15, Avianca, June 1st, Avianca International, June 16, Copa, June 26, Delta, August 1st, Iberia, they don't define, Interjet on July 1st, KLM, July 1st, LATAM, they do not define yet, also Lufthansa, Plus Ultra, and TAME, that they will continue with some routes on June 1st. And it's important also to tell you that I recommend that you go to the best information, to that. For example, U.S. Embassy website they have all the information complete there, that you could see the last políticas or reglas that they need. Also, you could find information of land transportation that we are working with them. You could contact transportation USA@mtagencia.com, and then you can go from Quito to Guayaquil by bus, or from Guayaquil to Manta. But also it's important that you can contact us to this webpage, info@mtagencia.com, and we can advise you for all the flights, regular flights, and also if you have a group that would like to arrange a special charter. And to the end of my presentation, just to tell you that we have a wonderful country. Our mission is show foreigners the best of Ecuador, and ours the best of the world. So I think it's the best opportunity. Now we have a special first. So come back to Ecuador, and the world is waiting for everybody. So thank you, Marcus. I don't know if there are questions.
Yeah, thank you, Montserrat. I have some comments that I have to make, and also Serena, could you please be preparing the questions from the attendees? I know we have some, so it is very important of what I heard from today while I was preparing the material for this presentation today. It is that the consulate in the US or Canada, where most of our attendees come from, as today, they have to authorize you with a document, and this document, it must say that you can you can go into the plane. So that's what it is right now. And I know in June 1st, we're going to have new regulations. Something that is very, very important. Montserrat, if you can explain us a little bit on how the APO, the aislamiento provisional obligatorio, is working right now. Do you have any experience on that with your clients? A general idea of how is this working, and with the new regulations from May 18th, where they have this amendment to that regulation before set up regulation from May 12th, where they made the change where basically they're saying on those countries where they don't have the possibility to run a test for COVID-19, they just will be boarding the flight, and when they arrive to Ecuador, they will have another quick test. So how is that working right now with your clients?
Bueno, para que esté clara la respuesta, voy a hacerlo en español, y para que me ayuden con la traducción. Me parece importante esta pregunta, y voy a hacerlo en español en este momento.
Okay, Montserrat, I would like that Serena translate what you just said.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, Montserrat considered that it's really important for us to know the importance of APO, which is a preventive confinement that you have to fill out before traveling. So she will say it in Spanish, I'll be translating, so you have a better understanding of it.
Gracias. Es importante que todos los pasajeros que se encuentran fuera de nuestro país contacten a su consulado, es decir, al consulado del Ecuador que se encuentra en cada país. Ellos ahí deben llenar un documento. Dos documentos.
It is really important.
Por favor.
Voy a ir traduciendo por partes para hacerlo poco a poco con ellos, ¿ok? Yeah. It is really important that before you travel, you contact the Ecuadorian consulate in your country of origin in order to fill out this document that is called APO, the Preventive Confinement Document.
Anteriormente, había que estar en aislamiento cuando llegaban al país por 14 días. Ahora hay un cambio en la norma y lo que indican es lo siguiente.
Before the amendment to the rules, it used to say that you have to have an obligatory or mandatory confinement on 14 days when you after you arrive to the country.
Entonces,
now it has changed.
Ahora hasta hasta la información que tenemos hasta mayo 31, las personas que no pertenecen a grupos vulnerables. ¿Cuáles son los grupos vulnerables? Personas de tercera edad, menores de 18 años, personas con discapacidad, personas con enfermedades, catastróficas. Estas personas son las personas que pueden llegar a nuestro país y el aislamiento va a ser en sus domicilios. Las personas que están entre 18 y 64 años pueden hacer este aislamiento, deben hacer este aislamiento en hoteles durante 7 días. Continuamos con
durante 7 días. A partir de, ¿qué fecha me dijo? ¿Del 31 de mayo?
Sí. O
sea, esa es la modificación. Ahora es una semana.
Hoy en día los pasajeros tienen que hacer esto, ¿no? Hoy en día los pasajeros deben hacer este proceso.
De 7 días en el hotel.
Así es. Deben permanecer 7 días en el hotel y al séptimo día, continuamos con la traducción tal vez, Serena.
Ya. Sí, sino que quería tenerlo claro. Esto es hasta la fecha.
Así es, actualmente.
Okay. She said that currently the passengers that arrive to the country have to do the following. People between the ages of 18 and 64 years old must do a mandatory confinement at a hotel upon arrival. Only them. The other groups which are considered vulnerable would be seniors, minors, that would be under 18 years old, people with disabilities, people with catastrophic diseases. They will have to do a confinement, but they can do it at their own homes. They do not have to do it at hotels. That only applies to people between the ages of 18 and 64 years old.
Ok, a partir del 1 de junio, lo que se está requiriendo, pero todavía lo que se está requiriendo ahorita es que las personas que desean venir al país deben con 72 horas antes de llegar al país hacerse un examen PCR en el país donde están antes de regresar. Y ese es el requisito para poder para poder embarcarse, adicional, por supuesto, a tener este requisito del APO, donde registran en qué hotel van a permanecer.
Entonces, a partir del 1 de junio deben presentar lo que es el APO y presentar el examen que se hayan hecho 72 horas máximo antes de viajar, ¿verdad?
Correcto.
Y en el APO va a estar la información en el hotel donde ellos se van a quedar aquí en Ecuador por esa semana de aislamiento.
Sí, correcto.
Okay. What she was explaining was that starting June 1st, all passengers are required to have a test, a COVID test, that must be done in a maximum of 72 hours prior to boarding, prior to the flight. And also they will need the APO form, the one we mentioned before, that had to be filled out at the consulate. That information that the form has must include the hotel where you will be staying for the confinement that you must do after your arrival.
That's correct. I don't know,
Perfecto.
no sé si cubrió la pregunta.
Sí, it is correct. Thank you so much for your answer. So, Serena, I would like to continue with some of the questions from our attendees. I don't know if you have them ready. So I can see a lot of questions. We will try to answer all of them, and so please, Serena, could you start with some of them?
Ya. A ver. Tenemos una pregunta de un cliente donde nos indica de que si es en el tema de TAME, sé que es un poquito ajeno a lo que estamos hablando, pero quiere saber si TAME va a volar entre las ciudades de Quito y Manta. Esto viene en consecuencia de las últimas noticias de los últimos días.
Serena, you have to read it in English too.
Oh, okay. Will TAME still fly between cities like Quito to Manta? Manta to Quito. Es sobre TAME, que si TAME todavía va a volar entre las ciudades de Quito, Manta.
Ya, al momento, al ser una noticia que es reciente, no podría yo dar ahorita un detalle de lo que TAME va a hacer ni qué rutas va a operar. Como agencia de viajes, no hemos tenido todavía un pronunciamiento formal de parte de ellos. Yo espero que pronto tengamos algo formal y estaremos comunicando a nuestros clientes qué rutas ellos mantendrían su operatividad. Por el momento todavía tenemos que esperar noticias oficiales.
Yeah, thank you. Right. And for you to know, for all of our attendees to know, I've been chatting with one of the consulates in the US. She has indicated me that some of the questions that we cannot address in this webinar, we're going to be sending to them. So when we're sending the summary with the video and the summary of this presentation, hopefully we will have all those answers. So we will try to answer as much as we can, but you have to understand that rules has been changing from one day to another day. So for now, let's answer those questions. Montserrat, thank you so much. But we will have the best answer for you, and also we will be sending this to this consulate, which I'm chatting right now. So Serena, could you please continue with another question?
Okay. Bueno, hay otra pregunta que nos indica que defina lo de la tercera edad. Please define the age in Ecuador for tercera edad. Tercera edad means seniors. That's above 64 years old.
65.
Sí, pero sobre 64 años, por eso, de 65 para arriba.
Ok.
A ver, aquí hay otra pregunta donde nos dice, si volamos desde Estados Unidos y tenemos hijos, ¿es posible que hagamos la cuarentena en casa con el esposo y los hijos? If you fly from the USA and you have children, is it possible to self-quarantine at your home with your spouse and children?
Yeah, yeah, we have to check that because as Marcus tell us, the rules is changing, so we have to reconfirm because now we could do el aislamiento you can do in your home. But it's important to reconfirm because this is information that is changing, and until June 1st, you can go to your home if you have children. So it's logical that the parents with the children go home. So, but it's important to reconfirm if there is not a change for that rule. But for now, you can go with your children is 18 years. Children, you can go to your home. But also we can reconfirm in this question when Marcus sent to you the information.
Ok. Vamos con la siguiente pregunta. I have read that after the first week in the hotel, you can apply to be released. ¿Cómo?
¿La traducción de esa?
La pregunta.
Ajá, sí, sí.
Ya. He leído que después de la primera semana en el hotel puedes aplicar para que la segunda semana la puedas hacer en tu casa. ¿Es esto correcto? I have read that after the first week in the hotel, you can apply to be released to spend the second week isolated in your house. Is this correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's correct. The thing is that when you are on the hotel, you have to stay for 7 days, but you need to take an exam for COVID, and you need tú necesitas hacerte este examen 72, debes hacerte este examen y la respuesta de este examen dura 72 horas. Eso significa que la estadía en el hotel va a estar entre los 7 y 10 días.
Y los 10 días.
Porque este examen lo van a tener que hacer en el día 6, y si este examen demora 2 o 3 días, van a terminar quedándose 10 días. Eso va a ser así por la demora de la entrega del test.
Okay, she was explaining that after the days at the hotel, actually on the day 6, you have to get tested for COVID. You must have that. You must get tested, and it takes around 72 hours for the results to come up. So it's a total of 10 days, around 10 days at the hotel. Y después de esos 10 días y sale la prueba bien del COVID, ¿ya no tendría que hacer cuarentena o sí?
Tiene que completar los 14 días de aislamiento en su casa.
And after those 10 days, if your test comes up okay, you have to finish the 14 days at your house, the remaining days. That would be 4 more days. La
Okay,
siguiente
let's continue with
pregunta
another question.
Ujú. La siguiente pregunta es esta. ¿Cómo haría un pasajero para transportarse del aeropuerto al hotel donde se tienen que poner en cuarentena? Si
Ok.
ellos tienen que ponerse en cuarentena en su casa, ¿cómo irían de la casa al aeropuerto? Más bien se enfoca en el transporte, del aeropuerto a cualquiera de los dos lados que vayan a ir. ¿Cómo hacen para llegar?
Si las
The question
personas,
is,
si las
The
un
question
segundo, te
is,
lo voy a leer en inglés.
ok.
How can a returning passenger get from the airport to the hotel? They must isolate in. If they isolate at home, how can they travel from the airport to their home? Ahora sí.
Si las personas están dentro de los 5 grupos vulnerables, deben sacar un salvoconducto para poder ir en un transporte privado a sus domicilios. Si las personas no están dentro de los 5 grupos vulnerables, cuando llegan al aeropuerto hay un transporte esperándoles para llevarles al hotel donde definió quedarse.
Ok, un segundito, ya. If the passenger traveling are within the vulnerable groups that I mentioned before, they must obtain a permit that is gotten online. It's called salvoconducto, which will allow them to go on a private car or a transportation of their own. If not, that will be the other people that must go to the hotel. There will be someone waiting for them to drive them to the hotel. Listo.
okay, let's continue with the next question.
Ya, la siguiente pregunta es si el consulado de Ecuador en Canadá está trabajando para ayudar con el proceso del APO, de los papeles que tienen que llenar antes de venir a Ecuador. Is the Ecuador consulate in Canada open to help process the paperwork and the form for travel entry? Esta pregunta sería para Marcos en tal caso.
I think I can answer this. Thank you. From the phone conversation I have with the consul today this morning, they advise you to contact the nearest consulate to your home in Canada or in the US. They will be guiding you on what they have to do. They are taking baby steps to go back to normal work with the normal services at the consulate, but they are making a priority to work on these permits for you to come back to Ecuador. They will be asking you for some information, as for example, send us a copy of your passport, send us a copy of your cédula, send us a copy of your temporary or permanent residency visa in Ecuador. This will be the only documents that would allow you to come back to Ecuador. As today, there is no regulations to allow tourists to come to Ecuador. And this is another topic that I would like to ask Montserrat if she knows, because someone here is asking, and Serena, you can see these questions. Someone is asking about having a relative coming for anniversary here in Manta, where they're located. So I don't know if it's open. Do you have any idea when Ecuador borders will be open to tourists again?
It's supposed that on Jan 1st, step by step, every commerce is going to be open, no? but we have to as you can see the airlines that I show you. Some airlines start on June, another on July, and also that happens with some hotels or some properties for tourists. So I think in June 1st is we start to open the tourists, but step by step, and all as you know, as you can see, all the information that we have. It depends of what happened. Now we are in I don't know how do you say in English, but now we are in semáforo rojo, and luego pasaremos a un semáforo amarillo. Entonces esto va a ser poco a poco y tenemos que estar pendientes de lo que vayan las autoridades a seguir comunicándonos.
She was talking about the classification that we have in the country for the different cities. That they are classified in colors, red, yellow, and green. So we have to we have to be informed when the colors changes, because it depends on the colors that the transportation and everything in the city it will change depending on the color. The transportation and some of the regulations for the citizens. So we have to keep informed, green, yellow, or red.
Okay, yes. I think we have covered most of the questions. Some of them they're about the same, but I just want to make a brief summary about this. Who can come back? The person who are allowed to come back to Ecuador are Ecuadorian citizens and those who are temporary or permanent residents of Ecuador. Those are the people that they're allowed to come back. How do you do this? You have to, as today, you have to get a permit, you have to get a document that will be issued by the Ecuadorian consulate, and they will be asking you for some paperwork. So once you have that, you can basically get in contact with the airline or the travel agency, and you need to have also paid in advance the place. I mean, if you are if you have to remain in quarantine for in a hotel, you will have to prove that you have made the reservation for that. And what I have heard, most of the time you have to pay 100% in advance. So they want to make sure that you're going to stay there. And if you are one of the vulnerable group of people that is considered under the Ecuadorian law, then you can go direct to your home, but you will have to be also approved by the consulate. They will be reviewing everything, all the applications, and they will be the entity who will be authorizing you to go to your home or going to a hotel. So, and after that, once you arrive here to Ecuador, you will have to spend 7 days. If you have to spend 7 days in a hotel, on the day 7, you will have to take another test. The results for those tests takes between 2 or 3 days, which at the end you will be spending 9 to 10 days in a hotel, and then you can be released and you can go home. Or you can spend 14 days at the hotel. So what is my personal suggestion here? It is just to first contact, as Montserrat said, go and get information direct from the U.S. consulate here in Ecuador or the Ecuadorian consulates in the U.S., and also get some help to arrange your flights with travel agencies like Metropolitan Touring, because I mean, I witnessed 2 weeks ago where a flight for one of our clients was canceled, and it was hard. Now we're trying to get the money back and all that, but I don't want to get into details. But also keep in mind that since June 1st, airports will reopen again. This doesn't mean that all the flights will be coming back, will be landing in Ecuador, but you have to, we saw the presentation, Montserrat's presentation, where they have dates where they are going to be coming back to the new normal. So find information from the airlines, find information from Montserrat. So that's all what I have to say. And Serena, you said that you sent me a message saying that we have another question, and this will be the last question. And after that, I would like to have from Montserrat a final words of what is your view perspective from this. So Serena, could you please go ahead?
Yeah, I have seen similar questions regarding the city of destination, because some of them do not stay in Quito or Guayaquil. They have to go somewhere else. Their final destination is either Manta or other city in Ecuador. So they want to know if they must do the quarantine in Quito or Guayaquil, or they can do it in the final destination city. Ellos quieren saber si ellos tienen que hacer la cuarentena estrictamente en Quito y Guayaquil, o la pueden hacer en la ciudad donde ellos llegarían, porque en este caso hay gente que va a Manta o a otras ciudades, entonces quieren saber cómo hacen. ¿Se quedan en Quito y en Guayaquil o la hacen en la otra ciudad?
Deben hacer en la ciudad donde están llegando al destino.
The quarantine must be done at the city of arrival. It doesn't matter if you go to another city of the country, you must do it either Guayaquil or Quito, the city where you arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my microphone. Okay, all right. So Montserrat, some final words from you as a representative of Metropolitan Touring, which is I might say the biggest travel agency in Ecuador and one of the most important in South America. You have won several prizes in the last years. That's basically one of the reasons we have invited, I mean, you, and we had here Klaus Fields a few weeks ago. And it is just because we want to keep this in a good level. So could you please give us a final message for keeping in mind that our attendees, they are the expat population, the expat community living here in Ecuador. So if you have some final words for them, please share them.
Okay, thank you very much, Marcos. Thank you for inviting me. For us, it's very important to care of our clients. We are a travel agency that guarantee our services. We feel that you feel. We know that is very important to you. Come to Ecuador to your family, or from Ecuador go to your family. So for my experience in the last 3 weeks, it is a kind of feel special feelings, because we feel that the people, we want to help you, we want to share with you all our information. Please be free to contact us to info@mtagencia.com. Also be free to contact directly me. I'm going to send all the information to Marcus. Our goal, our objective in this work is to help our customers. There's something different that we are living now. Nobody thinks that we are going to have in a pandemic situation, but the most important thing is to help, to take care of our clients. So we have a complete team that is working for our clients. We We are happy to work in metropolitan touring because we have we are working for, especially in my case, I work for metropolitan touring 26 years. So you understand, I suppose that we are happy in this company. Is an example, and please call us. It will be a pleasure to help you with all of the information that you need. I'm sorry for my Spanish, but it's not so easy in the camera to talk English. But thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Montserrat. Thank you everyone again for being with us. And remember, we're going to be sending some of your questions to the consulate. We're going to be working on that, and when we are sending the summary as we normally do via email, you will be receiving, hopefully we will get the answers from the Ecuadorian consulate, because there are some questions that we cannot address here, and hopefully we will have an answer for them. So thank you so much, Montserrat. Thank you so much, Serena, and see you next Tuesday. So take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.